talk to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to This Week in Marketing, brought to you by the San Diego chapter of the American Marketing Association.
Thanks for listening in. I'm Wade Taylor, driving this episode where we're doing a spotlight on Q2 Insights so we can understand better who the players are here in our world of marketing, especially San Diego, Southern California. And I'm joined by Kirsty Nunez. She is the President and Chief Research Strategist over at Q2 Insights. Pop another browser window, go to q2insights.com, and you can learn about all that they do. In the last several segments, we've been talking about fundamentally how overwhelming all this is. Between all the data that's available to us, big and small, because of the pace of change, both technology and consumer attitudes, just trying to keep up with what our market is doing is overwhelming. But there are smart people out there like Kirsty and her team at Q2 Insights that can be your outside expert, and do not underestimate the value of outside eyes to help you truly understand what's going on in your business. And they can do the analytics, they can do the research to help you understand that. And they're finding new ways of assisting companies in the processes and methodologies, you might say. We've heard about companies now hiring a part-time CFO, or you might say a fractional CFO. And so, Kirsty, I understand you're bringing that concept to research.
Absolutely. Yes, the CFO, the fractional CFO, has been around for a long time, and more recently we've seen the advent of the fractional Chief Marketing Officer. So we now are offering fractional research services and analytics services. And how that is expressed is you can bring us in, one or more of us in, for a specific project that you need to run, or to address development of your research functionality within your organization. There's many, many different reasons why people might bring us into the organization.
And you're finding a way to make that achievable by, them using that which they need. So let's take this kind of in different groupings. I'm a small business person, right? I had my idea, I got my business going, I'm making widgets on the assembly line, and I realized, wait, I need to be working on my business, not just in my business. What is it that I may not even know I need to be doing that you guys can help out with?
Well, there's so many answers to that question. I mean, there's a very broad spectrum of research offerings and analytics offerings that we have. So for a small business, a lot of times a small business, in order to grow, needs to understand their target audience. It's amazing how many companies don't truly know the definition of their target audience. They have gut instincts about what their target audience attributes might be, but they actually don't really know. They may be coming out with a new product or service, and they want to know how successful that new product or service will be, and we can actually, using that crystal ball we were talking about earlier, we can actually make some predictions for them, very sound predictions on how that product or service may perform in the future by using research and some multivariate statistical modeling. There are many, many things that we can do for a small business. I think the challenge with a small and a medium business is that they often don't have a researcher in-house. As I mentioned earlier, they typically might have somebody who is wearing multiple hats, and research is just one of those hats. Or they might have an extremely junior person in that role. So we can come in...
Or as I've seen, the head of the company is up at midnight trying to figure out his...
Yeah, crunch the numbers, that's right. So we can come in and provide bench strength at a very reasonable cost, without having to bring in a full-time person and have all the expenses associated with that. So I think the service we're offering means that research and analytics services are now attainable for small and medium business, whereas they may not have been previously, and it was just not something that people could even think about.
And so many small businesses and even some mid-size, it sounds like, need the basics done. They haven't even gotten to the point of basics. And so you can put together a package that will help them, as my understanding, audit, execute, and understand what's going on.
Or any one of those individually. I mean, you know, there are some large businesses, for example, that have volumes and volumes of research data that's been conducted and that they are conducting ongoing projects regularly, but no one's ever come in with an outside point of view and expertise to actually have a look at what they're doing within their business to see if it really makes sense to form a database of all the data that they already have and to determine what they actually should be focusing on. And whether they're spending their budgets wisely. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, so to kind of take this in sequence, just my brain kind of tends to, categorize things. So the small business person probably needs to engage you at a basic level just to make sure that they are doing the basics, that they've got some clue as to what's going on. And then as they evolve into a mid-sized business, I assume they need to focus on things like understanding market competition, realizing the growth that they're ready to expand into, and leverage opportunities. So as they transition from small to mid-size, what are some of the things that you're doing specifically for that mid-size business?
I think you've nailed it very well there. I mean, it's understanding the target audience, understanding the competitive environment in which they work, identifying the opportunities. One big thing is identifying the emotional and rational needs of their target audience. Some companies like us to come in and help them do a segmentation of their audience so they can divide the audience up into small pieces and have targeted marketing campaigns for each of those segments, if you will.
And I would imagine that your services are becoming more needed as that company grows, because in the smaller company, the leads may have customer interaction. They may, be front-facing, so at least they're getting a little bit of the vibe of what's going on. But as the company grows, they get further and further from that interaction with the customer, and they need more. You're going, hey, no, here's what's going on that you're losing track of. Or am I correct?
No, you're absolutely right, but I'd like to go back to the
Please.
thing that you just mentioned about the vibe and the sales, the front-facing employees really understanding the vibe of the customer. Yes, they may do that. They may understand the vibe of the customer, but what happens is those front-facing staff are individuals who hold that information individually, right?
Right.
So we can actually come in and gather all that data and put it together in a package that that says, look, we've talked to all your front-facing staff, we've also talked to your customers. Here's what the real vibe is overall. It's not just this is Harry's vibe and this is George's vibe and this is Mary's vibe of what's going on with the customer.
Perfect. And then with about 3 minutes, let's talk about the large corporations. What needs do they start developing that you're really going to be able to help out with?
Well, I think the first thing I want to say about that is that the team has had experience both being on the large corporate side as well as being in a supplier side situation for research and analytics. So we understand the large corporation. But most large corporations are likely to be in a situation where they either have some research resources on staff and they may need some extra bandwidth, and so we can come in and provide bandwidth. They may need somebody to come in. They're much more likely to have a need to have their research audited to determine if they're doing, what their strategy should be, their research strategy should be. There are even situations where people have somebody who perhaps is on maternity leaves or something and they need somebody to come and fill in for a short period of time. And, or they may need somebody to come in and do a discrete project. For example, a segmentation project can be a really large undertaking, especially if it's international, and they don't necessarily have the staff to be able to to handle that project. So we could have somebody come in on a fractional basis and handle a large project like that. So
it sounds like the larger corporations, more likely than not, are doing the range of things. You know, they've done the basic things that we're encouraging the small business to do. They're understanding the need to understand market share and everything that the mid-sized businesses, but now they're just staffing because they're just so overwhelmed. So it's like, do we have everybody in place? Do we have a backup for everybody in place? And are there certain things that we want to bring in outside people to help with? And Q2 Insights kind of covers all those bases.
Yeah, you know, one thing we've discovered in the state of marketing study we've been doing here in San Diego is that many, many companies are now bringing all their marketing functionality in-house. However, research is one of those functions that actually doesn't always get hired in-house. So there is a definite need for research expertise that can be used on an as-needed basis. You know, a research concierge, if you will.
Right.
So I think that's another reason as well.
Alrighty, so fractional research is one of the great ways that Q2 Insights can help your company. Learn about all the ways and all the services that they provide by opening up a browser window right now, because we've got a commercial break coming up, and go to q2insights.com and see everything that Kirsty and her team are doing. I am Wade Taylor, driving this episode of This Week in Marketing in conjunction with the San Diego chapter of the American AMA, powered by WSRadio.com. We are the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
You take your smartphone almost everywhere you go. Now WSRadio.com can be there too. Search WS Radio in the Play Store for your Android devices or iTunes for Apple and download the WS Radio application. WSRadio.com on your phone and in your ear everywhere you go. Download the WS Radio application. Do it now. It's very easy. WSRadio.com.
On the internet, your business's reputation can be unjustly destroyed in an instant. Don't wait for that to happen. Building and marketing your 5-star reputation can increase your business by as much as 19%. Take control of your reputation and have the 5-star reputation you deserve with Reputation Marketing Solutions by DSI Development. Become the go-to company by visiting 5starrepmarketing.com. The number 5starrepmarketing.com.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
You may have heard me brag about Progressive Medical Center and just how much they've helped me with my health. And Dr. Goley, one thing that you have helped so many people with is migraines.
Unfortunately, there are millions and millions of Americans who are suffering with migraines and headaches, and they're debilitating because it affects the quality of their life, and they cannot function properly. At Progressive, we get the root cause because we understand that migraines could be caused by nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances, believe it or not, delayed food sensitivities. And once we determine what the real reason is, we put a plan of action together with medication that we get them off slowly, and we put them on an all-natural approach, and the results are amazing.
Incredible. I mean, there's so many people that can say they don't live their lives with migraines anymore thanks to Progressive Medical Center.
And that's what's exciting and rewarding to us as physicians, because we help our patients take control of their health, and that's why they're living well.
Why don't you get a hold of Progressive Medical Center today? Don't live in pain. Don't have migraines anymore. Just go to their website, progressivemedicalcenter.com.
This is your life. Live it well.
Did you know the majority of radio listeners are between the ages of 35 and 54, have a household income of more than $100,000, are classified as executives or professionals, and share the show they listen to? Become part of the Peggy Smedley Show to reach listeners looking for information on connected devices through cost-effective radio commercials or segment sponsorships. Contact us at 630-933-0844 for more information or visit PeggySmedleyShow.com.